All right, enough diffy chat. Welcome to
Diffs are
early
us.
'90s country, where we talk Joe Diffie and all things Chattahoochee. No, that's not what we're doing. It's Thursday. This is the TableTalk podcast, Twitch, YouTube show. We just cover all mediums, where we talk things. Role-playing games.
But do we cover like true mediums?
Yeah, we will at one point. Miss Cleo
She was
actually going to be a guest on the show.
Yeah. No.
I
do not see
I'm going to
guys
hit
in
that
the
reset
comments.
button. Hit that reset button. Hey guys, welcome to Thursday. It's Table Talk, where we talk role-playing games, and tonight we're talking Unearthed Arcana again. What else will we talk about? I mean, Wizards of the Coast keeps just laying these jewels in our lap for us to dissect and talk about. So we're newest Arcana. I came across it today, but the timestamp on it says October 15th, but I may be a day late. But that's all right. We're FeatherFall TableTop. You can catch us multiple nights streaming. Tuesday is our The Gods We Know homebrew campaign, DM'd by Adam Islamas and company, following him in their 5e homebrew. They are Tuesdays at 6:30 Central Time. Nope, 8:30 Central Time. You can find us, the three of us, plus two, on Wednesdays at 8:30 Central Time with our homebrew 5e campaign called Ghosts of the Past. It is a continuation of our Waterdeep campaign. And then we're here on Thursdays with Table Talk, talking RPG stuff. So we have two wonderful sponsors that help keep the lights on here. And they are Skull Splitter Dice. You can use the code at checkout, FeatherFall. Oh man, so many things have changed lately. I'm still getting a hold of them, but FeatherFall. Save yourself 10%. And Found Familiar, who is now our bits leader here on Twitch. And I just want to say congratulations. You've taken the top spot, and we are super happy about that. And you can use FeatherFall at checkout there to save 10%. Foundfamiliar.com/FeatherFall is our affiliate link. Use FeatherFall at checkout to save yourself 10% on some badass coffee. I've been working through the Meta Magic, and I just finished it, and I'm kind of sad. But now I'm going to try the Detect Magic. So super high quality coffee. And he's just a cool dude, man. He's hanging out and chatting and donating those bits. We appreciate it. And super glad to have him there with us. So that's housekeeping stuff. You guys have anything? Oh, I have one more. I always forget. We got a one-shot on the 28th. It is now full, so I'm sorry that you didn't make the cut. But good news. There are two one-shots coming up in November, on November 11th. Jen, who plays in the homebrew The Gods We Know campaign, is DMing a Golden Girls-themed one-shot. And it sounds pretty fun. My wife's jaw just hit the floor. That's her favorite show. So she's doing that. That sounds pretty awesome. So if you want a chance to Golden Girls roleplay in the skin of Betty White, go ahead and sign up for that. That to get there is in our Discord down below. ! I want in. And then on the 25th of November, Kylie is DMing a Fine Familiar. Is that what it's called? It's where you roleplay as familiars when they are not summoned. And she gave a 30-second pitch in our Discord. It sounds awesome. I don't know much more about it, but if you want in on that one, again, join our Discord, ! I want in, get you access to those links to join up, and we'd love to have you. I'm sure the two of them will do an awesome job DMing. They are enthusiastic and charismatic as hell. It'll be a good time. And we have some coming up in December would be the next month.
The 9th, which is Coles.
More details to come on that one. But anyway, there we are. That's it. Okay.
Well, we should talk about, since you started over, Joe Diffie is probably the greatest country singer of all time. Just let that settle, then let's get into some UA.
I think Travis disagrees.
Yes, Garth Brooks at the very least is way better than him.
Well,
but what about Billy Ray?
Forgetting the OGs, guys.
Garth Brooks is still better.
You know, I mean, who I've really gotten onto lately is Willie Nelson. Not somebody I listened to enough growing up. That I'm a Willie Nelson fan now. But yeah, Dwight Yoakam's still number one. Anyway,
that's fair.
And that might be because of his role in
guitars and Cadillacs.
Hillbilly music. All right, enough country music. I can feel the drawl coming on, and I'm all out of chew. I don't know what that means. Anyway, so today I came across, while I was at work and bored, came across some new Unearthed Arcana. I did not unearth it myself, but it was there. And I'm just still blown away by the amount of subclasses that we are getting just back to back to back, right? We've gone through one whole round of each class getting one, and now we're doubling up, which makes me believe we are getting some sort of supplement akin to Xanathar's Guide to Everything, which means we may get some new spells, which would be kind of cool, along with, all these new subclasses, because they're being play tested. They're not going to waste their time and not put it in a supplement. So that's got me kind of the cockles of my heart is being warmed as we speak. Maybe the subcockle area, but yes, mull that over. Anyway, we were going to do the Onomancy Wizard, but that just wasn't reaching out and grabbing us as much as this new one is. So we decided to leapfrog that, and we're going to talk about the Rune Knight, which is a fighter archetype. Martial archetype for the fighter class.
So one thing I would like to speculate is looking at release dates of D&D editions. Third edition was in 2000 flat. 3.5 was in 2003. Fourth was in 2008. It's 5 years. 8 years between 3 and 4. Fifth was in 2014. As popular as 5th edition is,
are we?
Do you think it's almost time? So as much that's been put out for 5th edition, I don't think it's nearly as much as like 3.5 or 4th. Yeah. But do you think it's time for 6th edition to come out?
I was legit thinking that earlier too. I was wondering if this at least meant like a 5e enhanced or enhanced or something. I feel like we're getting there because, I mean, I don't know enough about historical updates and other stuff, but every class is getting an update like this. That seems a little bit much.
Multiple updates. Right. But think about it. This would be if D&D were a cash cow. Right now would be the time, only for the reason that everybody starts over with the popularity that D&D is right now. Everybody starts over with a new edition.
Gotcha. So could this be like a 5.5, like they did 3 and 3.5? I don't know I'm a 5th edition like newbie, right? So I don't know the differences there, but could this be a 5.5? And especially with like the influx of all this digital media, where now you can just update the documents and not really have to do a whole new edition. If 5e is pretty close, I don't want to say it's close to perfection, but it's a pretty streamlined system and popular. Are you going to piss more people off by jumping to a new edition, or can we just get updated player's handbook, updated classes?
So do you appease those that are offended? And I'm not falling on either side of the map here of racial bonuses. So you kind of fix the racial. We did have a
right, and we talked about that
already.
Yes.
You fix the racial bonuses. You throw out more like depth to classes.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? I mean, strictly monetary speaking, if 6th edition's announced, I'm pre-ordering the book and I'm going to dive right in. Just simple as that.
Man. I know, but I have like my 5th edition bookshelf is getting so big. It's like, man, I don't want. I'm not ready for a 6th edition yet.
I don't think I am either.
Right,
but I'm gonna buy it.
Right, I would, because that's who I am. And I don't think it would be like learning a whole new system. But I do want to expand my systems. Like, I want to get out and play more.
Yes.
Other types of systems. So I don't want D&D 6th edition coming in and muddying those waters yet. So no, don't give me a Xanathar type supplement. That's my vote.
I want that too.
And I will stamp of approval onto that. So, all right, that's a good question to ask though. Like I don't know. It's it's coming eventually. When that doomsday clock is ticking from when it goes from 5th to 6th, it's happening. So let's.
But you heard it here
first. Ready for it. Yeah. I mean, I have my bunker built. There's food stores. I'm ready. All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this and why we're all here. Is this talking about the Rune Knight? And some of you know I'm like in the middle end game of Storm King's Thunder, so this kind of like piqued my interest because the Rune Knight has a lot to do with giants, and I think it's kind of cool. It's a good play on this on the fighter. So, and I think we have an upgrade on the Twitch stream where we actually have the text displayed.
You can follow along if you don't like listening to us.
Yeah, you just hit that mute button and
don't hit mute, because if you hit mute, we lose a viewer. So just bring it all the way down to just minuscule where you can't hear us.
And I have a sneeze like right on the end of my nose. It's coming. All right. So fighters get this archetype at level 3. So they go through level 1 and 2 with normal fighter stuff, and then they get into their archetype.
That was a solid.
That was it. I got
one.
it.
Solid.
I got the mute in there though. I didn't blow out the headphones there. Okay, so the Rune Knight comes around at level 3. So you discovered how to enhance your martial prowess using the supernatural powers of runes. The ancient practice of rune magic originated with giants. Skiltgravar, also known as rune cutters, can be found among any type of giants, and you likely learned your methods first or second hand from such a mystical artisan. Whether you found the giants were carved into a hill or cave, learned of the runes from a traveling sage, or met the giant in person, you studied the giant's craft. In time, you learned how to carve and apply runes to your equipment and how to invoke their magic, ultimately becoming a Rune Knight. Sorry, I'm still recovering from that sneeze.
Reading's tough.
It is, especially when you read all day. It's I don't want to do it again. So, a couple things jumped out here to me. Anything jump out for you guys? Like, what are you thinking right off the bat? We'll start with Trap.
I don't know. I didn't have enough time to prepare for this. I apologize. So I'm kind of going along with this as we're reading. But, I mean, it sounds cool. I like the idea. With giants being more introduced, I don't know a whole lot about them, but which means throughout my reading they don't come up enough. So I like that there's more focus on them.
All right.
So I do like that. Yeah. And I like that there's some artisan crafting in here, which it kind of actually ties back into the artificer a little bit to me.
Okay.
So I think that's kind of cool. And having these runes and stuff that can make your equipment or whatever more powerful or magical. Yeah. I think that provides a lot of opportunity for role play, for combat and actual gameplay. I think it offers a lot in a small package.
Okay, I'd like to know, since you are playing an artificer in our Wednesday night games, how this kind of might match there, because this fighter does get to apply things to their equipment. Does this pair alongside? Are they moving along together, these two different classes? So, I mean, please chime in. Bob, what are you thinking?
I like it. I mean, again, much of what all of this has been is just more. It eases players into roleplay, and I think it gives, instead of being creative with your backstories, it just gives you a built-in backstory. Mm-hmm. So I think it's fun. You know, I got a negative comment about last week's show in the fact that we use the word flavor too much, but this adds flavor to.
But okay, valid criticism, but these intro texts, that's exactly what they're there for, and I think we would be missing something if we didn't point that out. You know, people who know, right? But some people, if you don't know, you don't know. And we're here to kind of guide you there. But that's why they're giving you like a list of options. It is for that flavor, to get your juices flowing and getting you moving in a direction that builds better role-playing, better storytelling, better characters all around. Call it flavor, call it background, call it roleplay, whatever you want. I like that they're doing this and putting an emphasis on that.
So, I agree.
Yeah. But I do like some of the options they give you here. Like maybe you found some giants' work in a cave. And Travis, a little background. Like dragons and giants were like Sword Coast battling for supremacy, and dragons won, giants won. You know, so they've been around for a long time. And there's actually giants in Waterdeep. We didn't meet any, but they're one of is it Grey Force Grey? There's a giant in there, so I could see where maybe you take up an apprenticeship with this. You're trying to get into Force Grey, and maybe, you know, something there. There's a lot of stuff you can do and kind of study alongside in an apprenticeship program with a giant, or you're just a hermit in a cave and there's all these runes on there that you are studying. You know, there's a lot to do there. So I like that.
Yeah.
Along with at third level, you get some proficiencies, so you can smith's tools, and you can learn to speak, read, and write giant. I think that's kind of nice. You know, right now, my character in the Ghosts of the Past only has 2 languages, and it's really like I wish I knew more. So anytime you it may seem like nothing right now, but if you're playing in a specific campaign, if your DM is knowing what you have, that, you know, giving you these opportunities to shine, I think having those bits is kind of cool. So I'm down with that. And also at third level, you get the rune magic. So you learn how to use runes to enhance your gear. When you gain this feature, you learn how to inscribe 2 runes of your choice on weapons, armors, or shields. Whenever you finish a long rest, you can touch a number of objects equal to the number of runes you know, and you inscribe a different rune onto each of the objects. To be eligible, an object must be a weapon, suit of armor, or a shield. Your rune remains on the object until you finish a long rest, and an object can bear only one of your runes. Each time you gain a level in this class, you can replace one rune you know with a different one.
Yeah, I mean...
So, kind of like swapping out spell slots there.
Yeah.
So, and there's a whole list of rune options, and we'll get to that here in a second, but you're able to, you know, scribe onto your stuff and give it something cool. This is a lot like, there's a magical item, I mean, spoiler alert for Storm King's Thunder, there's a magical item in Storm King's Thunder that does this exact thing. It's one-time use. You get to pick what you want to do it on, and then you can, you know, depending on what artifact you found, if it's a fire rune or fire giant, hill giant, whatever, you get to inscribe onto a weapon or armor of your choice these things. So they're kind of taking a beat from that, I think.
I find it interesting that this falls under a knight, like, or the fighter subclass, right? Because I understand that fighters do hone their craft, but like studying and, you know. Yeah,
you wouldn't at the surface think a fighter is a studious sort. But
I mean, you have the Eldritch Knight, like that's there. You have the Bing's an arcane archer.
Yeah, so I will say, going back to that, all the saves for the Arcane Archer, I believe, were intelligence. So there is a level, kind of a background bit of needing to know and learn the inner workings of studying runes, the inner workings of, the arcane magic. So there are elements of that built into other archetypes of the fighter.
But with this, you can't. Your dump stat's not going to be intelligence. So you're going to need a high strength, intelligence, constitution.
Yeah, you kind of have to be pretty.
So your dump stat's going to be wisdom.
Or charisma. Which is a tough one to dump on. So you're going to have a pretty even-keeled kind of player here, I think. You're not going to want to have... wisdom's probably it. Yeah. I don't know. You have to make some decisions here. And I think, going back to those racial abilities, picking the right race might have to definitely come into play.
So, progressing just a little bit, the runes that you get options to, this is kind of interesting to me in the fact that it creates a problem. So from a DM's perspective, it creates a problem for me in the fact that you now become a metagame player. In the fact of, so just quickly, Hill Rune. This rune's magic bestows a resilience reminiscent of a hill giant. So essentially it gives you advantage on saving throws against being poisoned, and you have resistance against being poisoned, or against poison damage. So you take half damage, right? Mm-hmm. In addition, you can invoke the rune as a bonus action, gaining resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing for 1 minute. Once you invoke the rune, you cannot do so until you finish a short or long rest. So, so if I'm fighting spiders, whatever, I'm going to invoke the Hill Rune.
Yeah.
And then become immune. So it kind of bugs me to an extent in the fact that you're going to metagame. And this is going to lead towards players metagaming. People being people, they're going to try and do what's the strongest just available.
Right. And that's where, as a DM, throw them a curveball. Keep them on their toes. And I think, because, naturally players are going to be like, ooh, we're going into a cave with a bunch of spider webs. Spiders are poisonous. Boom. Hill Rune. But you only get 2 at this level. So you're going to have to pick and choose, right? So there are several types of giants here, several types of runes. So you are going to have to be selective. Yeah. And I don't think you ever get more than 3. We'll see. But we did skip over the saves for these runes. The magic save DC equals 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your intelligence modifier. So you're definitely not going to want to make that your dump. You're going to want to, along with strength and this, I think are going to be your 2 highest. Maybe con, get some hit points in there. I think strength and this for sure.
I think you get more than 2. So each time you gain a level in this class, you can replace one rune with a different one.
Well, so 2 and then swap them out. But I think at a certain point you do get like a 3rd rune. So you know 2, and then you can swap them at level ups. So we got that was the hill giant. We got the fire giant, or the Ild rune. This rune's magic channels the masterful craftsmanship of fire giant smiths. While wearing or carrying an object inscribed with this rune, your proficiency bonus is doubled for any ability check that you make that uses your proficiency with a tool. You do become proficient with Smith's tools,
which is different in the fact that not a lot of these subclasses give you additional proficiencies.
Yeah, so I like this. It's gonna put a focus on those tools that very rarely, outside of thieves' tools, that very rarely get used. Right? What other set of tools are you using on a regular basis? Where now, going back to that F word, you're using your tools to add flavor into the game and into checks. And I think Xanathar's guide tried to do this. They had a lot of... they put more emphasis on the tools. And I like that they're doing this. Because outside of thieves' tools, they're kind of a forgotten thing.
Yeah.
Until like that one time, you're like, oh, shit. But anyway, there's more. In addition, when you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can invoke the rune to summon fiery shackles. The target must succeed on a strength saving throw or be restrained for 1 minute. While restrained by the shackles, the target takes 2d6 fire damage at the start of each of its turns. The target can repeat the saving throw at the end of each of its turns, banishing the shackles on a success. Once you invoke the rune, you can't do so again until you finish a short or long rest. That seems like a lot of damage, and especially if you beef up your intelligence and you make that DC high. You every round 2d6, 2d6, 2d6.
That reminds me of heat metal.
I can dig it. Yeah, it's very much like a heat metal kind of thing.
Which I like it. So the animated spell book, Ziba.
Bashu.
Yeah, they did heat metal. Which, if you haven't seen the YouTube video or the animated short that they do, it was really funny. But I think it's an underrated spell that people don't use. So This is kind of one of those things that it's like a dot, so you're going to just damage over time, and you put it here, and then you move on to the next, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't say it's concentration or anything. So once you put it on, you're on.
Yep. And it's a save at the end of their turn. And like most fighter things, you get it back at a short rest, which is... You get these magical runes back at a short rest, which is nice. It's like, where most people are tapped and waiting for that long rest, that fighter can kind of come in and save the day there.
Yeah, again, we're at third level, so third level 2d6 is pretty strong.
Yeah, I think so. Let's see. Frost runes next. The ice. This rune's magic evokes a frost giant stoic calm. While wearing or carrying an object inscribed with this rune, you have advantage on animal handling checks and intimidation checks. Okay, that's kind of specific, right? Animal handling and intimidation. Not two that me personally as a player use very often.
Yeah.
But it's there. In addition, you can invoke the rune as a bonus action to increase your strength score by 2 for 10 minutes. This increase can cause your score to exceed 20, but not 30. Once you invoke the rune, you can't do it again until short long rest. So that one's
useful.
Yeah, you never know, but it's there. Moving on.
I feel like that would be a poorly used one, to be honest.
That's But again, so you have the damage one with the fire, and then you have this one that could be, help you in diplomatic situations. I mean, as diplomatic as intimidation will be. Right. Or, like animal handling, trying to calm down, whatever.
Sure.
But then, the strength, you never know. Right? And the rune's magic evokes while wearing. Okay, so it has to be you. I was thinking... Could you inscribe it on a suit of armor and give it to somebody else? But no, it doesn't. You have to be wearing it.
Right.
Okay. All right. Cloud Rune.
Because it does say while wearing or carrying an object.
Oh. Well, that would be the fighter themselves. You have advantage. Yeah, I'm not seeing any verbiage that says you could give it to somebody else and then, like, Bardic Inspiration and give them... this power, so it's on you. It's on you. But if strength is one, like we discussed earlier, strength is one of your key stats along with intelligence. Like getting it above 20, you got to lift this door up. You got to push this boulder out of the way. This might be the rune. This is the rune you're looking for.
This is all.
Go ahead.
Reminding me a lot of materia from Final Fantasy VII in a way.
Yeah.
Because you can equip that in the game, and it gives you some stat boosts, or it gives you some abilities. That's cool. I think it provides some interesting concepts for like a Final Fantasy with themed game if you wanted to do it.
Yeah.
But I think this is adding a whole lot more to keep track of. You have to remember that you have advantage on all these things or all these abilities. It becomes a lot more to track.
I agree. And
I think it's good to have only 2 that you have to pay attention to, right? And then that's on you as the players, knowing your character, and And especially, you don't get this till level 3, so I assume you should be looking ahead a little bit and kind of, being predestined in what you want.
Yeah.
So kind of having a good working knowledge of these. But yeah, I agree. There are more things to hang on to and pay attention to, which some players, they want that, right? They want more that their character can do.
It does playing. So I've played a lot of fighters, barbarians, and stuff like that. It is boring watching all of these magic casters and people who have fun stuff to do. Just like, I'm gonna do this, and this, and
right.
You're like, I'm gonna hit it twice. Like, that's what I do.
A fighter can come in and do 30 damage a round and just by the way, second wind, here come or the.
But it's the same every time. Like, is the concern.
Yeah. So this does get some of those, like you are now blurring the lines between, much like the Arcane Archer was, you're blurring the lines between that martial fighter and magic user.
Yes.
Which I guess if you're gonna give us a bunch of classes, you're gonna see more of those lines blurred, I think.
Right.
So, but moving on with the Sky Rune or Cloud Rune, the rune's magic emulates the deceptiveness of a cloud giant. While wearing or carrying an object inscribed with this rune, you have advantage on sleight of hand checks and deception checks. So there we go. Now, those are some that you use a little more often. Pickpocketing, deceiving. I like that. In addition, when you or a creature you can see within 30 feet of you is hit by an attack roll, you can use your reaction to invoke the rune and cause that attack to target a different creature within 30 feet of you, other than the attacker, using the same roll. This magic can transfer the attack regardless of the attack's range. Once you invoke the rune, you can't do it again until short or long rest. So there we go. Now we're helping our allies out. Somebody's getting attacked within 30 feet of you. Reaction, boom. They got to move their attack to somebody else. Again, helping teammates out. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's great. It's good control.
Yeah. So far we're through 4 of these. So we're getting like some damage ones. We're getting some where we're helping an ally. We're getting some where we are using some of the skills and abilities that may not get used a lot. So we're getting a nice swath of options here. So they're not just all damage dealers or all whatever. So I kind of like that. Again, you got to pick and choose, right? Moving on, we got 2 more. We got the Stone and the Storm. So Stein, the Stone Rune. The rune's magic channels the insightfulness of a stone giant. While wearing or carrying an object inscribed with this rune, you have advantage on insight checks, and you have dark vision out to the range of 60 feet. If you already have dark vision, the range increases by 30. In addition, when a creature you could see ends its turn within 30 feet of you, you can use your reaction to invoke the rune to force the creature to make a wisdom saving throw. Unless the save succeeds, the creature is charmed by you for 1 minute. While charmed in this way, the creature has a speed of 0, is incapacitated, descending into a dreamy stupor. The effect ends if the charmed creature takes any damage or if someone else uses an action to shake the creature out of its haste. So there we go. That's the stone.
So do you think if you have dark vision from a spell, that this would then add to that?
Say it again.
So since it adds dark vision by up to 30 feet if you already have it, does it help you if you have a spell? Bob says no. What would you do?
What do you mean if you have a spell?
So if you have a spell, dark vision applied to you, and you can see in the dark, does it add 30 feet on top of that? I'm curious how you would handle it. I have no insight because I'm not a DM, so I'm curious what you guys were thinking. Bob?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. It doesn't specifically say.
Yeah, it doesn't say where you got it from.
I don't know.
It seems weird to get it from a spell to me. I don't know that it's something that I would personally have asked about, like in game. But having going through it, it's a thought that popped in my head at least.
What level of a spell is dark vision? That's what I want to know. Let's see. That's a 2nd level spell. How many times do people use dark vision as a spell. That's an interesting one. It's like, because there's always somebody in your group, most likely speaking, that has dark vision. I think a lot of people don't use dark vision unless you're a whole group of humans, you know. And if that was the case, I'd let it stack.
Okay. Conflicting opinions.
And it's only on you, so it's not like you're beefing up everybody.
Yep.
Everybody gets dark vision plus 30 feet. You know, it's only you. So yeah, I'd probably let it go. If somebody wanted to use it, so I'm a human fighter. Somebody wanted to use their level 2 spell, dark vision, on me, and then I use this. I'd let it roll. Bob's not here. We'll make up our own game.
This one seems like it's the most tame of the runes, though. It is, but it doesn't. It's not like super effective in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
The advantage on insight checks is kind of interesting, but the insight checks don't seem like they can be all that beneficial. They don't give you a huge advantage, at least in my experience.
Yeah, we're not a party that insights all the time. I've watched some games where, you know, everybody's inciting everybody all the time, just trying to get something out of it. So if that's the kind of player you are, I think this would work. But yeah, our games don't really revolve around insight checks. And charm is interesting. It's one of those things that at the right time it's going to help you out a ton. But last one, the Storm Rune. Using this rune, you can glimpse the future like a storm giant while wearing or carrying an object inscribed with this rune. You have advantage on intelligence arcana checks, and you can't be surprised as long as you are not incapacitated. So no matter, and there's no time limit on this. So you inscribe your shield with this rune, you cannot be surprised. That could be interesting. In addition, you can invoke the rune as a bonus action to enter a prophetic state for 1 minute or until you are incapacitated. Until the state ends, when you or another creature you can see within 60 feet of you makes an attack roll, saving throw, or an ability check, you can use your reaction to cause the roll to have advantage or disadvantage. Once you do this, you can't do it again until you finish a short or long. I like this one the most, I think.
Why do you like this one the most?
Because of that advantage and disadvantage.
I feel like this one puts a lot of more control in the DM's hands in a way. Because if you're going to be prophetic, or you're going to be able to see the future, that puts a lot of weight on the DM to tell you what's going to happen. So I think that's kind of... I don't know how I feel about that, because I feel like if you're going to be prophetic, the DM has to tell you things that are going to happen and are going to happen, at least within the current path forward. If something changes because of it, obviously that changes the outcome. But I think this one at least involves the DM more, is probably the better way to put it.
Okay. Yeah.
I think that's kind of cool, actually. I
looked up the definition of prophetic, just accurately describing or predicting what will happen in the future, right? Like, prophet, I wanted to make sure that it doesn't include any kind of like zoning out or trancing where the DM can kind of manipulate you that way. Like if you're in the state, you're now, your speed is 0 or something like that, where you're in such a kind of removed state from the plane of existence that you're on. And there's no verbiage here that's saying that, but I just, clarification. But I think where the prophetic piece comes in is you are pushing more towards success or failure, right? So if it's an enemy making that attack roll, you invoke the disadvantage, and now hopefully that's heightening the percentage of them failing. Hey, I'm a prophet. Sometimes prophets are wrong. But I kind of like this. Just if there's that one roll you got to have, give your buddy advantage. But I'd probably pick this one and the fire one, I think. The storm and the fire.
I would agree.
Just so I could do some damage. And you're always, like, think about it. You're always going to need advantage or disadvantage. Right? You're going to be able to use that all the time. Where doing an animal handling check, insight check, few and far between. But how many rolls do you make a night that you could give advantage or disadvantage to?
Right.
And so until the state ends, yeah, and it can happen as many times. It seems like, as long as they're within 60 feet of you, they make an attack roll, saving throw, and ability check. You can use your reaction. Okay, so use your reaction, which again is an underused action in the string of actions. So I love that now we're getting another use for the reaction. And you can just keep doing it like every turn, right? I mean,
yeah.
I don't have Hellish Rebuke as a fighter, so here comes disadvantage. So I'd probably pick that one and the fire one. I like it. Okay, so that's all the runes that you can have. I think it's a good, like I said, swath of abilities and ideas and things that you can, whatever kind of focus you want your guy to, your player, your character to be, you can kind of add to it. So you get more at level 3. We're not even outside of level 3, guys. Giant Might. You can imbue yourself with the Might of Giants. As a bonus action, you magically gain the following benefits, which last for 1 minute. If you're smaller than large, you become large, along with anything you are wearing. If you lack the room to become large, your size doesn't change. You have advantage on strength checks and saving throws. Your weapons deal 1d6 extra damage.
You can use this twice before long rest. So,
all right.
This reminds me of the old Warcraft, 3 days, where you were the dwarf and he just grows really big and gains extra hit points and does damage and stuff. Pretty interesting. So it's like you grow in the stature and you become,
Yeah. I like it. I like the idea of the shadow getting bigger, right? Like the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, turning from Dr. Jekyll into Mr. Hyde, just, going from Bruce Banner into the Hulk kind of thing.
When does a fighter get its second attack?
That's level 5, so you're not quite there yet, but you're getting extra damage.
So at level 3,
as a bonus.
At level 3, you could do 2d6 fire damage every turn, as long as they fail. Yep. You could do an extra 1d6 might, and then you could do your weapon. Wow.
That's a lot of damage.
At level 3, yeah.
But that's the fighter, though. I mean, it's in the name, right? Fighter. I'm going to fight you and do damage. So I'm on board with that, because all the other people around me are doing cool shit with their spells that I'm just going to do a shit ton of damage. And there are players that's their motivation, right? Like, I just want to go in and do a ton of damage, and I want to be in encounters, and I think this is for them.
Yeah, that feels like a lot of damage, and for level 3, I mean, I don't have enough experience to know how much it really is, but it feels like a whole shit ton. Which, like you said, Chris, I'm on board with it, and I think it also helps open up the other players to do a little bit more healing or something in battle, because now you're doing enough damage for maybe even 2 people at level 3. So I think there's some rebalancing that kind of has to go on when you get Giant Might.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you do get a fighting style, and you could take 2-weapon fighting, where you get to add your ability modifier to damage at the second attack, and then now you get your ability modifier plus this extra 1d6. Yeah. I mean, you're a badass. You're a fighter.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bad dudes.
It's because they're bad dudes.
They're bad dudes. Name that movie.
Parenthood.
Parenthood. Yep. Joaquin Phoenix was in that movie. All right. So there we go. We are level 3. We are tapped out. Going into level 4, you pick up an ability score improvement. Level 5, you get your extra attack. Level 6, another ability score improvement. So you're going to have a chance between level 3 and 7 when you pick up your next archetype feature to ability score improvement twice.
And those are just standard fighter levels. So those aren't
these are not part of this. This is outside of the archetype. So you could get that intelligence boosted up if you're thinking that's what you want, or you could do 1 intelligence, 1 strength.
Yeah.
Do a little more damage, but at 7th level, you get defensive runes. You learn to invoke your rune magic to protect your allies. Okay, I like this. When another creature you can see within 60 feet of you is hit by an attack roll, you can use your reaction to grant a bonus to the creature's AC against that attack. The bonus equals 1 plus your intelligence modifier. In addition, you learn 1 new rune. So you have a total of 3 now.
So
a total of 3 runes.
So you could, say wizard gets hit with 12 AC,
Boom.
And you have 1 plus your intelligence modifier of 3. Would be.
It's going to be 3 or 4.
Yeah, you could do pretty. You could give 17,
16, 17
flip wizard
on your wizard.
Yeah.
As a reaction. I like it. It's.
So one thing that's crazy about this, you learn to invoke your rune magic to protect your allies. When another creature you can see within 60 feet of you is hit by an attack roll, you can use your reaction to grant a bonus. It doesn't say expend a rune.
Nope.
It doesn't say once per long rest.
Just a reaction.
So once every cycle of turns, you can do this to give plus 1 plus your intelligence modifier.
4 to 5.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what rune you have chosen.
Well, and you get a third one, which you get a third one, you can use the, the disadvantage to rune of Storm Rune.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's cool. It's the only thing you get at 7th level. It's okay. 8th level you get an ability score improvement. 9th level you get Indomitable. It's Indomitable. I think you get Indomitable, you get to succeed on a saving throw if you failed. Level 9 was what we got to in Tomb, and that's as far as I got with the fighter. So at level 10 you get, and I think I used Indomitable against a Serac and passed.
Spoilers!
I passed 1 saving throw. You're past. It's gone. All right. So ability score improvement again.
At level 10?
No, at level
8.
At 8, you get another ability. So that's 1, 2, 3, and fighters get the most ability score improvements, I think. So it makes sense. You're just beefing up. Where I think traditionally you beef up strength or dexterity, but now I'm thinking, man, get that intelligence up. Boom. Here's some AC for you, buddy. I got you. At level 10, we get Great Stature. The magic of your runes permanently alters you when you gain the feature roll 3d4. You grow a number of inches in height equal to the roll. Moreover, the extra damage you deal with your Giant Might feature increases to a d8. So it was a d6, and it increases to a d8. Plus you're growing. In addition, you learn 1 new rune of your choice. So now you have 4 out of how many? 7?
1,
so you know more than
2,
half
3,
of them?
4, 5, 6. 6?
4 out of 6. So you're getting a good set of choices there. You're getting rid of the crummiest ones. D8 damage.
So imagine doing this as a Goliath, where you're already 7 feet tall, and then you grow 3d4, which could be up to 12 inches.
Which is a whole
another
foot.
Yeah. Wow. I like it.
Yeah,
I mean, it's fun because it makes
it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of a sudden your clothes are smaller.
The only real mechanical thing is you get the D8 instead of the D6, and a rune. So okay, cool. But from a roleplay standpoint, not true game mechanic, you could almost break from a medium to a large creature.
Yeah, so that's the question. If you were a Goliath, the biggest of... Is a Goliath medium?
Yes.
Yeah. So if you're a Goliath, the biggest of the medium creatures, and let's say you roll 12. So now you're up in the 8 foot plus range. You going to let him be a large?
So... I don't think you would ever reach large, because medium's 5 feet to 9.11 inches.
All right.
Whereas large is 10 feet.
All right. But again, and it's cool role play stuff. It's cool, like, you're gonna have to wear short clothes for a while. Clothes that don't fit. And but you get the
Goliaths are between 7 and 8 feet tall, so probably not.
So at most, you're getting like 9 feet.
Yeah.
So you're out of the range, but okay. At 11th level, you get another extra attack. So now you have 3 attacks.
Plus your second wind, which you could...
Plus, your second wind. You get another ability score improvement at 12. You pick up another Indomitable at 13. Another ability score at 14. And then at 15, you pick up a new feature.
Rune Magic Mastery.
You got it?
No, I'm just reading that like mentally. Like Rune Magic Mastery. It's interesting.
You can invoke each rune you know from your rune magic feature twice rather than once. So you have 4. Now you get to do it 8 times.
Nope. Yeah, no, you have 5. You have 5 now.
Oh, shoot.
Because you also gain a 5th rune. Which, again, the runes, there's 6 total. So you could just say, hey, I'm probably going to leave out the one that gives me proficiency in animal handling.
Yeah.
Which, but every other one, like, I'm going to shackle shit. I'm going to get advantage on every throw. Yeah, dude, this is...
I love it.
I like it. Yeah. But
I mean,
15's pretty high. Like,
right, we're in that hero territory, right?
Oh, yeah. You're in game here.
I do think this might be kind of lazy, though. Like, I don't know what to give him. Just let him do it again.
Shots fired.
Not in a bad way. I'm just, I don't know. I mean, it goes back to that thing Travis was saying earlier. It's like so many things to pay attention to. Okay, so now I'm using these more often, so therefore I'm not struggling with the understanding of them or forgetting them. But
I'm also going to say it's kind of lazy when you hit level 18 too. So let's hit 16, 17 real quick in the just standard
16, another ability score improvement. 17, action surge you can use twice now. Indomitable you can use 3 times now, so you can auto success on. Is it auto success or just a reroll?
I think it's a reroll.
You must use the new roll. Okay, yeah, so it's just a reroll.
Yeah.
But you get 3 of those.
So you hit the word lazy, and then you get 18th level, Blessing of the Allfather. You learn how to share your rune magic with your allies. When you use your Giant Might feature, so we got that at level 3, it's now a 1d8 to your attack, and you grow larger and, you get advantage on some stuff. You can also choose one willing creature you see within 60 feet. So
you're giving a d8 extra damage to somebody.
At level 18, like... What?
So when you use your Giant Might feature, that is a bonus action, and it only lasts 1 minute. So you're going to use that in combat, most likely.
Probably.
And you can use it twice. Do you gain extra uses of it?
They never said, so I would think you get it twice.
That's kind of it's kind of a deflating here at the end with the 15 and 18th.
So I would say overall, the fighter just base class itself is extremely strong, and then you add some of this stuff to it, which is like the like rune stuff to it. Between levels 3 and 10, you're like unstoppable. But then, like, you hit this sharp decline of just stuff you don't get much of anymore, right?
Right.
So we've seen that a lot with these UA things, and I wonder if they're doing it because of the fact that not many campaigns hit in like level 20.
Okay.
Like sub 5%, I would say.
Yeah. So don't put a lot of time. Don't invest a lot of time in those upper level things.
Yeah.
But what kind of... You're level 18 And you're with a party of 5. Sorry. But you got your party of 5. You're able to give an extra D8 damage to one person one time.
Whoopity-doo, Basil!
Like, whoop-de-doo, man. Like, I'm casting this level of spells that are just like...
And to be clear, it's your weapon attacks. So you're not even granting it to, like, wizards or sorcerers or warlocks.
Right. So, this is kind of bummer. This is bummer territory for me.
Yeah, this is Pooh Town, and we just population me, bro.
Population you, bro. So, Travis, I threw out the Artificer Rune Knight here. Any similarities? I thought it might have, but maybe that fell off.
Yeah, at first I thought so too. And I think there are some, in that there's magical abilities imbued into objects and weapons and all that. And with the one rune, you get proficiency with some new tools. So those are cool. I think there's a place for them to work together. I feel like there's some opportunity, especially for role play between the two. So like, hey, okay, I learned how to do this. You could probably also learn. Here, let me show you this. You might find it interesting. Or, hey, look what I can do, kind of thing. I think there's some cool friendship RP related stuff here. Other than that, it really fell off. It's definitely not as related as I thought it was going to be from the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. I thought it would have more of this kind of creation element to it, especially when you get smithing tools.
Yep.
You get that proficiency. So I'm thinking there's going to be more creating your own stuff, not just imbuing it with runes. Now, how are you going to imbue those with runes? Are you actually etching in runes, or is this a magical tracing? I think that's up to you as the player. So maybe the DM's going to go ahead and give me a smith check. If you want to add a little more
a lot
heightened elements to it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times, like, runes in D&D are like simple tracings on the ground in dirt, or like salt or stuff like that. So I could see you doing like runes in like fantasy marker, right? Blood, whatever. So you can just make these runes like ad hoc, so you don't have to be a smith.
Yeah.
So I could see that being fun, and it adds a lot of flavor. We're in Flavor Town right now, and the population's all of us because it does do that. I think I'm just going to say it a lot because we were given the feedback. We said flavor too much.
I guess that is the disappointment here for me. Is one, there's not the more emphasis on the creation element. Like you kind of. You got the palette wet with, you get smith tools. Okay. I want to see that kind of play out a little bit. And again, maybe that plays out as you play your character, but there's nothing mechanically that requires you to know smith tools. So it's kind of like an empty gift. The box is empty on Christmas morning. So there's that. And then the last two features here are just really kind of meh for me. And it's not taking, because you're already doing a shit ton of damage and you're getting 3 attacks, right? So you're gonna hold your own even without these on the battlefield, but it just doesn't do much even for other people. Like, ooh, I give you a D8 on your sword attack, sir. Okay.
Flavor Town type.
Yeah.
So I think in my professional opinion is this is a good class for a campaign from 3 to 10. If your campaign's going to go more than that, you drop off in your power level.
Multi-class.
Multi-class would probably be a good idea here. But
yeah, because if you stop at 10, you're getting an additional rune magic, so you get the 4th one. You grow, you deal the D8. I think that's a good place to stop.
Yeah.
Go into a different territory. Maybe some paladin, maybe some, rogue even.
Well, so you have a high intelligence. You could go wizard. Wizard's wisdom, I think.
Wizard. No, they're intelligent. Intelligence.
I think, yeah. So you could go you could multi-class into a caster now, and use some of these runes that, hey, guess what? I'm gonna make my armor higher.
Yeah. Let's see.
When another creature you can see, so you can't grant your own defensive rune on you, which is kind of silly too. Like, I feel like you should be able to grant your own defensive rune on yourself.
So, to multi-class into a wizard, you need an intelligence score of 13. You're definitely going to be past that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree. Yeah, no. And at level 10, as a character level at level 10 with all of the fighter ability score improvements, you should be there pretty easy. And then guess what? You got like a battle mage with runes that you probably wreck stuff. So I don't think this alone can satisfy a level 20 rune knight.
Right. Yeah,
I think
I agree.
If you were to go this would be a perfect multi-class. Perfect.
But I'm looking at the different options for multi-classing. Wizard is definitely one. I think that would be a cool combination. You could do a lot with the runes. But there's really not much more you can go into. I don't think you'd want to go into Barbarian, because then you're losing the unarmored defense, etc., etc. I don't think you're going to have Charisma to go into Bard, Sorcerer, or Warlock. Maybe Rogue might be the next one. Paladin, you still have to have Charisma of 13, so I like the idea of a Wizard. I think that's it.
So, and to be honest, I'm pulling it up here. Fleshsmith in the chat here said you could take a Warcaster feat instead of ability score improvement. Which Warcaster feat?
True.
You have an advantage. You have advantage 1 Constitution save that you make to maintain concentration on a spell. So you have advantage on that for 1. You can perform the somatic components of spells even when you have weapons and shield. Cool. When a hostile creature's movement provokes an opportunity attack from you, you can use your reaction to cast a spell. So you're going to be in melee. You're going to be getting hit, so you're going to have advantage. And then you hey, I'm going to just shoot a little fireball, right?
Yep. Yeah, you're going to have to sacrifice one of those ability score improvements. Pick up Warcaster. Multi-class into Wizard.
Yeah. I think this is... So I'm happy with if we look at this strictly from a multi-classing, but I would say base fighter, base level 3. At least hit level 3 in fighter with us, because if you're not, you don't get the runes, so it's kind of pointless, and you're dumb for wasting your time. But so base fighter level 3, that's when you hit your archetype, and then boom, Wizard.
Actually, that might be the best right there. I think go to level 3.
Yeah.
Because you pick up your Giant Might, so you're dealing an extra D6, and then go Wizard the rest of the way. And get yourself up to like level 7, level 10 Wizard.
You're a wizard, Harry.
Oh, man. But, yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. I agree 100%. Going this all the way is kind of foolish.
So, actually, you may go 4th level fighter. And you get that ability score improvement.
Flesh in the chat says 5th gets you that second attack too, so you might creep up into 5th level. I kind of agree.
Okay, I'm good. I like that.
And maybe you go three fighter, sprinkle in some wizard, and then come back to fighter.
And only because if you're starting a campaign at level 1, it's going to be brutal to have this like thought process and this build.
Yeah,
but if you start a campaign at level 5, next level, boom, you're a wizard, and you're good to go.
I can hardly wait. Yeah, I like it. I think it's all right.
We say we put a bow on this son bitch.
Yeah, let's.
Sounds like a plan.
Let's package this baby. Let's light this candle. Let's make like a tree and get the hell out of here.
You should have seen the toast. I couldn't even get through the front door.
Uncle Buck. He's cooking our garbage. Favorite line. That and rent a foot fungus. But sorry, Uncle Buck got me off track. Here we are. We talked about the Rune Knight Arcane, or Rune Knight Fighter Martial archetype. There we go. In the Unearthed Arcana. Hot off the presses. Got some goods, got some bads. I think we figured out a path of travel if we were to make one of these. And quite honestly, if it was in D&D Beyond, we maybe would have made that. But it's not in there yet. It'll be there soon. Patience.
Maybe for the next one.
Yeah, maybe for the next one. But there are 2 more out there. There is the Swarm Keeper Ranger option and the Revived Rogue option, which both sound kind of cool.
I'm excited for the Swarm Keeper because
Ranger needs help.
But so imagine the Revived. So I kind of read ahead on that one a little bit. Imagine the Revived in Tomb of Annihilation, where you have a Soulmonger that's anybody that has come back. So if you imagine like Revived, it's come back, and now you slowly start to decay.
Oh god, yeah, that's bad news.
Bad player choice.
Yeah. So those are in the future here on the Table Talk. We are looking towards a date when they stop releasing Unearthed Arcana, and we can talk about some other things. But just because they're very topical right now, we want to make sure we get them out there and our thoughts, because our thoughts matter.
Well, I would also like... Yes, I would also like to ask, what do you think? So I did get some feedback, and that these were kind of boring. I mean, that's kind of what this is to an extent, in the fact that we're helping you understand like what's out there. I know a lot of people already understand Unearthed Arcana, with it being so prevalent on D&D Beyond now, and such a tight partnership. But we're doing this to help spread this information, because not everybody's in the know. So if you like it, let us know, and we'll continue going through these. If it's an overwhelming, this is really dumb and boring, we'll change it up.
But yeah, in true Table Talk podcast fashion, this is very casual, and we're working through these. I enjoy talking through these because we get people like Flesh in the chat.
We're 1-on-1, baby.
That's bouncing stuff back at us, like 10 out of 10 fighter wizard combo, warcaster coming at you. You know, we're sharing ideas as a community, and I think anytime we can do that, that's good news. I mean, there are stuff on YouTube where you can zoom through these Unearthed Arcanas in 10 minutes. Feel free, man. Check them out. But we're taking that casual stroll through these and breaking them apart and really trying to understand where Wizards of the Coast is coming at and how we might incorporate these into a player character in a game. So, but as always, like, constructive feedback is much welcomed. So if you got some, send it our way. And you know, if you like it, smash that like button. I said it. I don't care.
Oh, I feel dirty, my friend.
Me too.
Yeah, I got a layer of grease on me now. You know, hit that bell, that notification bell, all those things that we've never said before. Never say them again. But anyway, this has been the Table Talk for this Thursday. I truly appreciate all you people there in the chat, all you people in that chat hanging out with us and bouncing ideas. And I appreciate the 2 fine young gentlemen hanging out with me on a Thursday night, sitting and sharing this computer screen.
Likewise.
Thank you.
Agreed.
Thank you.
No one shot this Monday. Tuesday coming up, episode 3 of The Gods We Know. Check it out. Things are getting spicy. I didn't actually make it through the whole episode 2. I got to go back and listen. But Sheriff Nippleton is...
Also, I would like to say one thing that we'll do a call to action. If you're interested, if you sub during The Gods We Know, you will be made into an NPC. And sub on Twitch. If you sub during the Ghosts of the Past on Wednesday nights, I will make you into an NPC. Probably you won't die, but there may be a chance you could, because our party on the Ghosts of the Past don't like NPCs at all. So there's a high probability you will die by a party member.
But we will say a prayer for you on your way out.
Yes.
Anyway, thanks everybody for sticking through this ending. It's so long-winded. It's hard to say goodbye.
Yes, it is.
But with that,
but goodbye.
Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.